What if the most powerful man in Genoa City was suddenly forced to face the one thing he could never control, not money, not enemies, not betrayal, but the possibility of losing the woman he loves forever? Just when Victor Newman believes he can solve any problem thrown his way, a devastating medical crisis threatens to change everything. Nikki's condition is worsening faster than anyone expected, and as doctors race against time, Victor finds himself confronting a nightmare he never saw coming. But that's not the only shock waiting ahead. A mysterious medical breakthrough, a desperate search for answers, and an emotional hospital battle will leave the entire Newman family shaken to its core. Stay with us because what happens next could change Nikki and Victor's future forever. The day begins with growing concerns surrounding Nikki Newman. For weeks, she has tried to downplay her symptoms, convincing herself that the headaches and occasional vision problems were nothing serious. She didn't want to worry her family. She certainly didn't want Victor hovering over her every move, but deep down, Nikki knew something wasn't right. Victoria has become increasingly worried about her mother. Every time Nikki dismisses another symptom, Victoria becomes more convinced that the situation is more serious than anyone realizes. The tension between them continues to grow as Victoria pushes Nikki to seek help, while Nikki insists she can handle everything on her own. Meanwhile, Claire finds herself carrying an enormous burden. She knows the truth about Nikki's condition and struggles with whether she should tell Victor. Keeping the secret feels wrong, but breaking Nikki's trust could create even more problems. Every moment that passes makes the decision harder. At the Newman ranch, Victor senses that something is being hidden from him. The unusual behavior from Victoria and Claire raises immediate red flags. Victor is accustomed to being informed about every important development affecting his family. Being left in the dark only fuels his frustration. As the day progresses, Nikki's symptoms become impossible to ignore. While spending time with Victoria, she suddenly experiences another severe headache. This one is different. The pain is sharper, more intense, then her vision begins to blur. At first, Nikki blinks repeatedly, hoping the problem will disappear. Instead, things become worse. Victoria's face becomes difficult to make out. The world around her starts fading into a frightening haze. Panic immediately sets in. Victoria notices her mother's distress and rushes to her side. Nikki tries to remain calm, but the fear in her voice becomes impossible to hide. For the first time, she admits that something is terribly wrong. Without wasting another second, Victoria insists on taking Nikki to the hospital immediately. Back at the ranch, Claire finally reaches her breaking point. She realizes that keeping silent could have devastating consequences. Victor deserves to know what is happening. When Claire arrives, she finds Victor already growing suspicious. He immediately demands answers. Claire hesitates, struggling to find the right words, but eventually she tells him everything. The diagnosis hits Victor like a freight train. Nikki has a mass pressing against her optic nerve. The condition threatens her eyesight. If left untreated, she could potentially lose her vision. For several moments, Victor cannot speak. The information is simply too overwhelming. This is not a business problem he can solve with a negotiation. This is not an enemy he can eliminate. This is a threat to the person he loves most in the world. The realization leaves him shaken. Victor immediately heads for the hospital. The moment he arrives and sees Nikki lying in a hospital bed, everything changes. His usual confidence disappears. The powerful businessman who commands respect from everyone around him suddenly looks like a frightened husband. Nikki tries to reassure him. She insists that she will be fine. She tells him not to worry. But Victor sees through the brave face she is presenting. He sees the fear she is desperately trying to hide. Taking her hand, Victor makes a promise. He tells Nikki that he will do whatever it takes to save her. No matter the cost, no matter the challenge, he refuses to lose her. As doctors continue their evaluations, the Newman family gathers together. Nick arrives, deeply concerned about his mother. Victoria remains by Nikki's side. Claire struggles with guilt over not speaking up sooner. The atmosphere becomes increasingly tense. Hours later, the doctors finally return with more detailed results. The situation is serious. The mass is located dangerously close to the optic nerve. Surgery appears to be the best option, but the risks are significant. The doctor carefully explains the dangers. There is a possibility of complications. There is a possibility of permanent vision loss. There is even a chance that the surgery may not fully solve the problem. The room falls silent. Nobody wants to hear those words. Victor immediately begins demanding solutions. He wants the best specialists, the best surgeons, the best medical technology available anywhere in the world. Money means nothing to him if it can help save Nikki. While the family struggles to process the news, Nate Hastings becomes involved in the discussion. Although Nate can no longer perform surgery because of his own hand injury, his medical knowledge remains invaluable. After reviewing Nikki's records, Nate discovers something interesting. A renowned specialist has been working on a groundbreaking surgical technique that has shown remarkable success in similar cases. The procedure is relatively new. The surgeon is highly respected. And most importantly, there may be hope. Victor wastes no time. Within hours, arrangements are being made, calls are placed, flights are scheduled, resources are mobilized. The specialist agrees to take Nikki's case. For the first time since the crisis began, a small sense of optimism returns. But hope does not erase fear. As the day of surgery arrives, emotions run high. Nikki remains surprisingly calm on the surface, yet inside she struggles with terrifying thoughts. What if she never sees Victor again? What if she never sees her children? What if this is the last time she experiences the world as she knows it? The questions haunt her. Victor remains at her side every step of the way. Their conversations become deeply emotional. Old memories resurface. Shared experiences are remembered. The years they have spent together suddenly feel more precious than ever. As nurses prepare Nikki for surgery, the reality of the situation becomes impossible to avoid. Soon, she is wheeled toward the operating room. Victor walks beside her until the very last moment. Then the doors close. And everything changes. For the first time, Victor is powerless. There is nothing he can do except wait. The hours that follow feel endless. Victoria paces nervously. Nick tries to remain positive. Claire quietly battles overwhelming guilt. Even Victor struggles to maintain his composure. Every passing minute increases the tension. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, the surgeon emerges. Everyone immediately stands. The doctor's expression is difficult to read. The silence becomes unbearable. Then the surgeon speaks. The operation is complete. A collective breath of relief spreads through the room. But the surgeon quickly explains that there is still uncertainty. Because of swelling around the surgical area, Nikki's eyes must remain covered for several days. No one will know the outcome immediately. The vision may return, or it may not. The waiting continues. The next several days become some of the longest in the Newman family's lives. Nikki remains patient, but the uncertainty is emotionally exhausting. Victor refuses to leave her side. Day after day, he stays with her. He helps her through every challenge, every frustration, every fear. Their connection grows even stronger during this difficult period. For Victor, the experience serves as a powerful reminder of what truly matters. Business success means nothing if Nikki isn't there to share it. Power means nothing if he cannot protect the people he loves. As the day of the bandage removal finally arrives, tension fills the room once again. Doctors gather. Family members assemble. Everyone waits anxiously. The moment has finally come. Slowly, the bandages are removed. Nikki sits quietly. Her eyes remain closed. Victor stands beside her, barely breathing. The room falls completely silent. Then Nikki slowly opens her eyes. For several agonizing seconds, nobody speaks. Victor searches her face desperately. Waiting. Hoping. Praying. Then Nikki looks directly at him. A smile begins to form. Tears immediately fill her eyes. I can see you. The words hit everyone with overwhelming emotions. Victoria breaks down crying. Nick wipes away tears. Claire finally releases the guilt she has been carrying. And Victor, the man who rarely shows vulnerability, becomes visibly emotional. Against all odds, Nikki's sight has been saved. The relief is indescribable. The crisis that threatened to tear the family apart has instead brought them closer together. Yet the story creates unexpected consequences for others as well. Watching Nikki's successful treatment inspires Nate in ways he never expected. For years, he accepted that his surgical career was over. But seeing how medical innovation helped Nikki forces him to reconsider his own future. Could there be new treatments available for his injured hand? Could experimental procedures offer possibilities that once seemed impossible? For the first time in years, Nate allows himself to dream again. A new journey may be beginning. Meanwhile, Victor and Nikki leave the hospital with a renewed appreciation for life. The experience changes them. Every moment feels more meaningful. Every day feels more valuable. They understand how close they came to losing something precious. And neither of them intends to take that gift for granted again. But even as the family celebrates Nikki's recovery, questions remain unanswered. Was the surgery truly the end of her medical battle? Could hidden complications still emerge? And will Nate's search for his own miracle lead to an even bigger breakthrough that changes multiple lives across Genoa City? One thing is certain. The Newman family may have survived this crisis. But the next chapter of their story is only beginning.